In early 2020, when the pandemic hit, thousands of Canadians had to cancel their plane tickets. You may remember that airlines were only offering vouchers for future travel, not refunds. It was a polarizing move. And now there's some alleging that Transport Canada, the Canadian Transportation Agency, and airline lobbyists colluded together in a secret meeting just days before passengers learned that they weren't getting their money back. Weeks after planes were grounded at the start of the pandemic, the Canadian Transportation Agency, who are duty-bound to act as an impartial tribunal, took the controversial step of issuing a statement on vouchers. The CTA highlighted the need to strike a fair and sensible balance for the airline industry and passengers, saying an appropriate approach would be to provide affected passengers with vouchers.
The CTA is supposed to be completely independent, and their decisions should be done on what is the best for the public.
The Canadian Transportation Agency received an unprecedented number of complaints from passengers about the lack of airline refunds. A Bloc Québécois MP, who's also a member of the Federal Transportation Committee, obtained these emails that confirm just days before the CTA released their statement on vouchers, there was a meeting between high-ranking members of the CTA, Transport Canada, and a third party, whose name has been redacted by the government. In Canada, government employees and officials can't have their names redacted, leaving many to believe the meeting involved a private sector representative for an airline or an industry lobbyist. However, the government's lobbyist registry has no record of the meeting taking place.
There is something that raise a lot of questions. So why someone from the private sector was attending at this meeting, and who was it? And also, well, why wasn't there any declaration to the register of lobbying then?
According to one air passenger rights advocate, the meeting also poses another potential conflict. The CTA's own code of conduct states in part that members shall not communicate with organizations regarding a matter that is, was, or could be before the agency.
So what we see here is a clear breach of the agency's own code of conduct. The document creates the impression that the Canadian Transportation Agency was colluding with the airline industry instead of protecting consumers.
A complaint has now been filed with Canada's lobbying commissioner over whether or not the meeting was above board. City News asked the CTA who they met with just days before releasing their statement on vouchers. They didn't respond with an answer in time for our newscast. Now, the Transportation Committee in the House of Commons has asked the CTA to prove that they are in fact acting independently. It's a story we'll continue to follow in the days ahead. I'm Adrian Ghobrial for City News.